dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't here for my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of every
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so how does my volume sound, guys? How is the audio? One's in the chat if the audio is clear. One's in the chat if the audio is clear. Because I noticed yesterday it sounded kind of sketchy after I listened to it on the playback. And then today, I don't know why the track seemed like it was scratching. Okay, so it sounds fine. Okay, all right, so let's get into it. Okay, so lights up, everyone. Please like and share. Remember, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay, hey, Sweet D, Claudette, above all that drama. We the people, Cherokee Descendant Dale, Jane, Vince I am from the UK, Stacy Quentin, Christopher, Rashid, Anita Harrell, 504 Nola. I saw DSB in here. All right, One Muscle Power. All right, Queen Harmony Huey. Above all the drama, Deronda. Kajima is in the house. Okay, so let's get into it, Ethelene. All right, so lights up, everyone. I see you, Christopher Perkins. Antoinette is here. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it because here's the thing. You all know that we talked about how previously Kabami was asked about reparations for the descendants of slaves. And she said, no, I'm not going to do anything for Black people. Well, someone asked her the question again, and I'm going to get into that momentarily. Okay, but before I do, I want you all to pay attention because they say that Black Californians, specifically Black activists in California, have issued a warning. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. So they say, now remember, this goes back to what I reported on yesterday when I talked about how the California Black Caucus, they passed on, financial compensation for the Californians as it pertains to reparations. Okay. They didn't want to give them any money. Okay. So now Black activists at the California Assembly threatened a direct impact on Vice President Harris's presidential campaign after state Democratic leaders held off on two bills that would have green-lighted slavery reparations. Now, you have to ask yourself, if this was already a go, if this had already been approved, why would the Black Caucus just gloss over it and say, no, we have concerns. No, we don't want to do it. Or we think we should study. All of this crazy stuff. You see, these people have already sold us out a long time ago. Not only the California Black Caucus, okay, but the Black Caucus in general, okay? Please pay attention. Now, last week, the California legislature approved proposals allowing for the return of land or compensation to families whose property was unjustly seized by the government and issuing a formal apology for laws and practices that have harmed Black people. But none of those bills would provide widespread direct payments to African Americans. Now, after hours of heated debate and protest on Saturday, state lawmakers left out two bills, Senate Bills 1403 and 1331, that would have created a fund and an agency to oversee reparations measures. Now, like I told you, these people already have their money, so they're clearly not concerned about whether or not we get what we're due or what we're owed. And they were out there protesting. Hold on, because I believe I shared a video of them protesting on Twitter yesterday. Hold on, or X. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this brief clip. Because a lot of Black people are waking up, thankfully, okay, and they're sick and tired of giving the Democrats our votes for nothing, getting nothing in return but a bunch of symbolisms and pandering, as I've said numerous of times.
Reparation. Yeah. Reparation. Yeah. Reparation. Yeah. Reparation. Yeah.
Okay, now, and with that all being said, so here's the thing. I was reading some of the comments from the people who don't look like me, and most of them were saying things like, well, they don't want their tax dollars to pay for it. And they were saying, well, I don't know why they think we owe them reparations because the first people that sold them into slavery were Africans. Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, the bottom line is we're not just owed reparations for slavery. That's for number one, because they love to make these nonsensical, insidiously obtuse excuses. And as I've told you before, some of these African leaders who in fact sold their people into slavery did so under the threat of death. That's the part of the story that they always tend to leave out. They cut off the heads of the kings who wouldn't do so, and they would have them publicly on display to intimidate them, okay? So this is very true. So let's not just sit here and act as though it's the Africans' fault for what the colonizers did to our ancestors. And also, some of the people that were enslaved were already here on this land formerly known as Turtle Island. So there's that, not to mention 150 years of Jim Crow practices, okay? What about all of that? Fighting for civil rights, all of the numerous modern day lynchings that have occurred in even the past decade or two. Okay, there's a whole lot of things they owe us for. What about all of the race riots and massacres? Let's talk about it. Okay, the Sweet Auburn race riot here in Atlanta. What about Rosewood? What about the Detroit and Chicago race riots? We already talked about Tulsa yesterday and how they're trying to stall as it pertains to giving those people, there's only 2 of them left who survived, and they're over 100 years old. They're trying to stall with giving them anything, any reparations, saying that they need to study it. They're waiting for those people to die. Okay, so they owe us reparations for far more than slavery. Slavery is just the biggest deal that we have spoken on. Okay, but I want you all to pay attention. So let's continue. Now, it goes on to say, the speaker needs to bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They're killing their own bills because they're scared of the governor. This is what one black man who's a member of the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, this is what he said in the rotunda on the last day of the legislative year on Saturday. He says, now listen, they're going to see this and they're going to get mad at us. They're killing their own bills and then they're going to get mad at us. They're killing their own bills because they're scared of the governor. We don't care. Bring the god dang bills up now. So anyway, State Senator Stephen Bradford, whom I spoke to you about yesterday, who authored the measures, said the bills failed to move forward out of the fear of the Democratic California governor, Gavin Newsom. They claimed that they were afraid to pass them or to go along with it because they thought he would veto them. What if he did? That's no excuse as far as I'm concerned. They say now we're at the finish line and we as the Black Caucus owe it to the descendants of chattel slavery, to Black Californians and Black Americans to move this legislation forward. This is what Bradford said as he urged his colleagues to reconsider Saturday afternoon, saying we owe it to our ancestors, okay? And I think we've disappointed them in a way. We knew from the very beginning that this was an uphill battle. Now, Newsom, of course, he didn't weigh in on any of it. As I said, and I'm not going to get into all of this because this is a lot of repetition from what I already told you on yesterday. But here's the thing. They don't want to give us or give the Californians any cash payments. But amazingly, California lawmakers ripped. Okay, they were ripped and people went in on them after they approved $150,000 down payment handout to illegal immigrants who want to purchase homes. Now, isn't that crazy? Somebody please make it all make sense. They can't give the Californians anything, the residents who've been there, who live there, who are citizens in this country. But for people who come here illegally, well, we'll just give them $150,000 to purchase new homes. The Democrat-controlled California legislature, and this is the Democrats. I just want you all to remember this, okay? The people who we have disproportionately given our vote to for the last 50 plus years. Now, the Democrat-controlled California legislature has passed a polarizing bill that would make the Golden State the first in the nation to offer down payment assistance to illegal immigrant home buyers. Assembly Bill 1840, which was approved Wednesday, and this is Wednesday of last week, would grant undocumented migrants access to the state's tax-funded home loan program, which provides up to $150,000 in down payment assistance for eligible first-time home buyers. The legislation easily cleared the state Senate on Tuesday with a vote of 25-14 and was subsequently approved by the Assembly 45-15. Now, the Democrats, and yes, I said Democrats, enjoy a supermajorities in both chambers. It now heads to Governor Gavin Newsom's desk for final approval. California Republicans are urging Newsom to veto the measure, arguing that it's a handout and a betrayal of citizens of the state that will incentivize illegal immigration. Okay, they said it will incentivize illegal immigration because think about it. Now, with everything they're giving these people, why wouldn't more of them continue to pour into this country? If they find out they're getting thousands, and they clearly already know at this point, I'm sure, thousands of dollars in food stamps, thousands of dollars in cash monthly, and now money to purchase homes, why wouldn't they keep coming here? Okay, they're taking over. I feel like Trump now, it's an invasion. Okay, please pay attention. Now, goes on to say, I didn't know it was possible to make the border crisis and the housing crisis worse with just one vote. But Democrats have found a way. This is what California Assembly Republican leader James Gallagher said in a statement. Now, I want you to pay attention who's against this. You see, it's the Republicans. They're the ones that are against this. They're the ones telling Newsom to veto this bill. Goes on to say, giving taxpayer-funded housing subsidies to illegal immigrants will drive costs even higher and encourage more chaos at the border. This is crazy and it needs to stop. It absolutely does. Now, Assemblywoman Kate Sanchez, who is the granddaughter of illegal immigrants, expressed similarly strong opposition to the measure on the Assembly floor Wednesday. So even someone who's the grandchild of immigrants doesn't agree with it. Sanchez argued that migrants crossing the border illegally look to California's current policies like a giant welcome sign. Welcome to California, where illegal immigrants get free health care, free food, and now a free home with 0% down, she said. This is not rocket science. If they're giving out free stuff, more people are going to come. Okay? Now, Sanchez also pointed out on Twitter that the Assembly approved the home loan bill at a point in time when 1 million Californians live in deep poverty and 180,000 people there are homeless. Okay, 180,000 people are homeless, saying this is an unbelievable betrayal to the citizens of this state. California Senate Minority Leader Brian W. Jones, who's a Republican, questioned the giveaway to undocumented migrants when the state is suffering from an affordability crisis, saying many Californians, some who have been here for generations, can't afford to buy a house in their home state, thanks to Democrats, their unsustainable economic policies. This is what Jones said in the statement. So many legal residents, they're not able to afford a home. Should we really be giving scarce cash assistance to immigrants here illegally? Well, of course they shouldn't. But again, this is the Democrats saying every dollar that goes to an illegal immigrant is one less dollar available to legal residents living here, and that includes veterans, teachers, and families. Now, California faced a $46 billion budget deficit last fiscal year before Newsom signed the state's new spending plan in June. California Senator Brian Dahl called the bill a slap in the face to citizens of the state, including military veterans struggling to buy homes, saying it is wrong to prioritize illegal immigrants over the men and women who have made great sacrifices to serve our country. California is already struggling with a massive deficit, and this policy priority for Democrat politicians is yet the latest slap. Okay, it's the latest slap in the face to the citizens who are working to make ends meet and forced to foot the bill of ever-expanding government programs in the state under one-party rule. San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond characterized AB 1840 more than just another handout, saying expanding state-funded home loans to include illegal immigrants is not just another handout, it's a massive overreach that shifts the financial burden onto law-abiding taxpayers. This is what he posted on X. Now, to be eligible for the loan program, an undocumented immigrant must have a taxpayer ID. They must have a taxpayer ID number or a social security number. Now, the legislation could dramatically increase the number of applicants for the home loans, which reached 18,000 people this year, with just 1,700 chosen through a randomized lottery system. Okay, Newsom, who has until September the 30th to make a decision on the AB 1840 bill, has not indicated whether he will sign the bill into law. Now, the California governor is a top surrogate for Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris, who earlier this month unveiled her plan to offer up to $25,000 in federal down payment assistance for the first-time home buyers if she's elected. So I just want you all to pay attention. What do you all think about all of this? This is absolutely crazy. Crystal says, exactly. I want my reparations through my taxes foremost at this point. Okay, Vince I Am says, this is real crazy. Vince I Am says, they're doing this deliberately, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, of course they are, beloved. Absolutely. And like they said, it's a slap in the face. Okay, this is a slap in the face, and specifically to people who look like me, who have, who deserve reparations. Okay, we deserve reparations. The people in California deserve reparations. But you mean to tell me they have all this money to give? They have all these things to do for immigrants who came here breaking federal laws? Like, make that make sense. But I want you all to pay attention, because Kabami is a whole part of this. She's a large part of it. And here's the thing. Someone asked her more recently about reparations, and here's what she had to say. I thought it was very interesting. Just a bunch of typical word salad. Please pay attention.
What specific actions do you plan to take to administer reparations for this unpaid labor?
Right. So I'm actually supporting a bill. There's a congresswoman by the name of Sheila Jackson Lee that has written this bill out of the House, which I am supporting, to study exactly what should be the response to your question. But to your point, and to just support your point, look, we had centuries of slavery in this country. We had decades of Jim Crow. We had legalized discrimination and segregation. And then we had de facto discrimination and segregation. And to believe or suggest that those years of treatment and abuse and violence and crimes did not have an impact is to overlook the facts of history. And for that reason, I support the legislation and what we need to do to think about specifically what it means in terms of the next steps. But I thank you for that question.
Senator, yes or no, do you support financial reparations?
I support that we study that. We should study it and see. But look,
really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
And so there you have it, okay? There you have it. She would not say yes or no. She just used a bunch of word salad, really saying nothing, and then talking about the study, the same thing they've been telling us for years. They're going to study it and acting as though that's a big deal because she's agreeing with the study. Like, girl, sit down somewhere. And I'm so glad that he asked her specifically, because her talking about the study was just her way of trying to weasel out of answering it directly. So then when he asked her, she couldn't say yes or no, or she could have, but she wouldn't. And yeah, I'm for the study. Like, we don't need a study. Did her husband's people need a study? Did her husband's people need a study? Above all that, Drum said, I really don't like her. I don't either. She is full of shite. Okay? Yeah, Stacey said in the chat. Absolutely, she is. Terry Phillips says, no reparations, no vote. Okay, no beat around the bush. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention, but hold on, there's more. So here's the thing. they have been, trying to get the Democrats, that is, they've been trying to get other people off the ballots. Now, remember, weeks ago, I told you how they had filed a lawsuit to get Dr. Shiva off the ballot because he's competition for Kabami. And so they filed a lawsuit and they were, to get him off of the ballot in New Jersey. Well, they did the same thing with Dr. Cornel West. So they're trying to, get rid of all of her competition. But here's the thing. The GOP network props up liberal third-party candidates in key states, hoping to siphon off Harris's votes. This is getting real interesting, folks. I just want you to pay attention. Now, Italio Medelius was leading a volunteer drive to put Cornel West on North Carolina's presidential ballot last spring when he received an unexpected call from a man named Paul who said that he wanted to help. Now, though Medelius, co-chairman of West Justice for All Party, welcomed the assistance, the offer would complicate his life, provoking threats and drawing him into a state election board investigation of the motivations, backgrounds, and suspect tactics of his new allies. Okay? Now, they say his is not an isolated case. So across the country, a network of Republican political operatives, lawyers, and their allies, they're trying to shape November's election in ways that favor President Donald Trump. Their goal is to prop up third-party candidates such as West, who offer liberal voters an alternative that would siphon away support from Vice President Kamala Harris, who they call the Democratic nominee, but she's the Democratic appointee. Please pay attention. Now, it is not clear who is paying for the effort, but it could be impactful in states that were decided by minuscule margins in 2020 in the election that was won by, of course, Joe Biden. Now, this money West's campaign does not have, and he has encouraged the effort. Last month, the academic told the Associated Press that American politics is highly gangster-like activity, and he just wanted to get on that ballot. So Trump has offered praise for West, calling him one of my favorite candidates. Another is Green Party candidate Jill Stein. Now, Trump favors both of them for the same reason. He says, I like her very much. You know why? She takes 100% from them. He takes 100% from them. Now, Democrats are exploring ways to lift Randall Terry, an anti-abortion presidential candidate from the Constitution Party, believing that he could draw voters for Trump. Now, but the GOP effort appears to be more far-reaching. And after years of Trump accusing Democrats of rigging elections, it is his allies who are now mounting a sprawling and at times deceptive campaign to tilt the vote in his favor. Now, the fact that neither of the two major parties would attempt financially and otherwise to support a third-party spoiler candidate as part of its effort to win is an unfortunate byproduct of current election laws. That facilitates spoilers. This is what Edward B. Foley said. And he's a law professor at the Ohio State University. So basically what they're saying is that they're trying to boost up and trying to help and keep people like Dr. Cornel West on the ballot so that it takes away votes from Kabami. Now, on the other hand, the Democrats are saying that they're doing what they're doing is basically the same thing that Trump accused them of doing last election cycle. Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, they're all playing shady, because if they're upset because there's GOP operatives supporting Dr. Cornel West and trying to keep him on the ballot so he can take away votes, siphon votes from Kabami, well, that's no different to me than Kabami offering, or her group, her team allegedly offering Dr. Umar $10,000, or allegedly offering, asking Kai Cenat to do a podcast with her. And I also heard, and I'm not sure if it's true or not, couldn't substantiate it, but I also heard that allegedly they offered Dr. Cornel West a cabinet position if she wins, if he would drop out of the race. So I'm sorry, you can't talk about one when you yourself are doing something shady, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? So what do you all have to say about that? And I'm going to go to a clip of Dr. Cornel West during an interview that he did on CNN days ago. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. He did this interview with Laura Coates. So I'm going to share my screen.
Look, don't call it a comeback, but look who's back on the ballot. RFK Jr. The Wisconsin State Election Commission today rejecting Kennedy's request to withdraw after he suspended his campaign. Their ruling, once a candidate files nomination papers, they're on the ballot, quote, except in case of death. Now, another third-party candidate who can stay on the Wisconsin ballot, Cornel West. He's one of 3 third-party candidates now still in the race, and it's the first time that West has qualified for the ballot in a swing state. It caps a string of recent ballot victories for Dr. West. But sometimes elections can create some pretty strange bedfellows. Democrats have backed some of the ballot challenges against West. And it appears that the left wing, West has an ally in his corner, the Republican Party. Reports suggest that GOP operatives are aiding in West's quest to get on the ballot. Why? Well, West could possibly peel away voters from Harris. And in an election that could be decided on the margins, every single vote matters. But how they're doing it? Perhaps raising some eyebrows in Arizona, where West did not qualify. One voter told the Associated Press she didn't know people visiting her home to collect her signatures were Republican-aligned operatives, adding her signature was, quote, forged. Now, independent presidential candidate Cornel West joins me now, and he certainly has taken issue with the association of those who have done the latter of which we speak. Dr. West, good evening. I'm glad that you are here because I would love for you to address some of the things that are being said. In particular, Dr. West, you're being criticized as somehow a spoiler for Democrats specifically, in part because you have received Republican support to get on the ballot. What is your reaction to the criticism, and who do you think your supporters will ultimately vote for if you yourself were not on the ballot?
Well, appreciate the question. I always enjoy to be in conversation with you, and your brilliance is undeniable, my dear sister. It's always a blessing to talk with you.
A compliment coming from the likes of you. Thank you so much.
No, I'm just, my campaign's about truth, justice, and love. Truth about everything, and justice for everybody, and love across the board. But one, we have to recognize that we have such a corrupt system. It's just driven by big money, the billions of dollars that both major parties are going to have access to. And then the arbitrary power to just do anything. And all you have to do is look at the plight of my precious Uhuru 3, who have been so thoroughly mistreated, unjustly treated by arbitrary power of the government, which means what? Which means then that someone like myself, hardworking volunteers at work, breaking their necks and then being so viciously attacked by especially the Democratic Party, and then we go to look for lawyers, it's almost impossible to find a lawyer. You can find a libertarian lawyer that has certain Republican associations, but concerned about each person voting. And that's very important. We just had Brother Joseph of the Socialist Equality Party. He had to speak strongly on our behalf, even the differences that he recognized that we have. We have a system that is so undemocratic that both parties have very little interest in democracy in the end, which is not to say they're identical, but in the end, they'll do anything to win. And some of us trying to hold out for some kind of integrity and honesty. And yes, we could be manipulated, but I've been quite explicit. I don't want any Trump gangster spies, operative, infiltrators. And at the same time, the Democrats trying to crush us like cockroaches, but we rise. We're still on the move and on a variety of different ballots.
Why is it that you think Democrats, and especially as his head lawyers in particular, are not coming to your aid in order to support your efforts to get on the ballot? Do you think that it is somehow a suggestion that you indeed are a threat to the Democratic ticket?
Well, anytime the truth is a threat to any set of lies and crimes. When I talk about Democratic Party, Sister Harris being genocide denier, genocide enabler, not talking about poverty, not talking about mass incarceration, not a word about reparations, not talking about wealth inequality, but the opportunity society, then that just those words constitute a certain kind of threat, it seems to me. But of course, at the same time, we have to be very honest and recognize that the Democratic Party has had so many different forms of rot that are operative. And it poses itself as a major opposition to the fascism of Trump. And it's sad to see, you know, Brother Kennedy has a right to be wrong, but he's siding with fascists. It's immoral. But if the only response to fascism when all of its lies and crimes is going to be more lies and crimes, then that's not a genuine anti-fascism. You're just postponing it. You're just putting it off. And if America doesn't have the capacity to provide a genuine response, then what are we talking about? We're headed toward fascism. We've got to be able to tell the truth about it.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dr. West. Do you take issue or are you concerned at all about the Republicans who may be supporting your efforts to remain on the ballot, given some believe it's because they are intending for you to detract from the Democratic ticket, which obviously every candidate must earn their right towards that 270. Right. But do you take issue with the intimation that you are being used in that fashion?
No, I don't think it's a matter of being used. It's a matter of presenting the strongest case. And I come out of legacy, Martin King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rabbi Heschel, Edward Said, Dorothy Day. I'm trying to keep that legacy alive in the context of electoral politics and tell the truth about American imperial policies, not just in the Middle East, but around the world, about predatory capitalist processes and legacies of white supremacy still operating that you don't hear too much in the Democratic Party these days. Now you got a black sister running, but you don't get serious talk about black people's situation, plight, and predicament, how that relates to issues of poverty and issues of class and issues of socioeconomic position along with the white supremacy. Meaning what? Meaning, in fact, that it is very difficult to keep this legacy alive, given the fact that there's not a lot of space in American society and culture for serious talk about painful truths, for serious talk about justice for poor and working people, and serious talk about love. Brothers, sisters, siblings, the humanity in each and every one of us, that's being pushed to the margins. That's the primary thing that's generating the fascist mean-spiritedness on the one hand and the militarism on the other. When I hear my dear sister Harris say, America is the greatest story ever told, and I think it's Shiloh Baptist Church and say, I thought it was Jesus. Oh, so now we got the cross under the flag. Now we got God under the nation state. You can be patriotic, but not ever think that the nation state is over something grander like truth and love and justice. No, not at all. The greatest privilege is being in America.
I hear your point.
No, the greatest privilege is being loved and giving love, to love and be loved. Let's not get things confused in this frenzy, in this talk about joviality as if it's joy. I'm talking about a deep joy that comes out of grief, that comes out of struggle. That's what the blues is fundamentally about.
Well, let me sing my blues for a second and ask you this pointedly, Dr. West, and just really quick, given what you think is lacking from the Harris campaign, should you not continue with your own candidacy, would you in any respect be open to working with that campaign or endorsing the Harris campaign? Yes or no?
No, I would never sell my precious Palestinians down the river, and I'd never have poor people pushed to the side in order to jump on the bandwagon of the Democratic Party. And of course, unlike Kennedy, never even think about the gangster Trump. No, we are trying to be true to our calling, and we are proceeding to November 5th.
Dr. Cornel West, not a yes or no, but thorough nonetheless. Thank you. I hope the voters certainly understand your point.
It's really, no, I'm going to the end. I'm sorry about that.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I understand. Dr. West, thank you so much.
Okay, so what do you all think about that? What do y'all think about what he was saying? Now, for one, he made some very good points about the things that Kibami isn't talking about. Not talking about reparations, not talking about mass incarceration, not talking about the poor people and the working people, like I have been telling you all. She keeps talking about the middle class. Okay, what about the poor people, the downtrodden? Okay, the homeless. What about that? What about mass incarceration, Kibami? See, she's not answering any of these things at the end of the day. And it's still a no for me. And then I saw Dan said in the chat, TC Dan said something about Trump not giving us reparations. I missed your comment. I meant to put it on the screen. But he said something about Trump not giving us reparations. Well, here's the thing. None of these candidates have said anything about giving us reparations except for Dr. Shiva, whom I had on the show and who's going to get my vote. Okay. Now, that being said, there's a whole lot of other things that's wrong with Kabami. Okay. There's a whole lot of things that's wrong with her. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, if she gets in office, what is she going to do for you or me that's significant? Okay, what is she going to do for you or me that's significant? Now, I've already given you all a whole list of things that Trump did last time. So now the question is, what's Kabami going to do? I'm sorry. She said she wasn't going to do anything specifically for Black people, but yet and still, she can do things for other folks. Okay, and so please pay attention. Queen Sam said, starting with who she married. Exactly. I'm sorry. Make it all make sense. Now let's go to this panel discussion where they're talking about her flip-flopping. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Before I go to that, let me have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, you can purchase your 12 Tribes hair oil on Etsy.com. Go to Lisa Crafts and also on Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get into it.
On my plan, by 2045, we will have basically zero emission vehicles only, 100%.
And by the way, that wall will never get built.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
You support the Medicare for All bill. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it.
Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
And the Democrats' elder cue ball James Carville is worried Harris went too far to the left in 2019 and will have a hard time walking it back.
Ineffective answer for 2018, which was a disaster, which is not good. I really moved to the left in the primaries, and she needs an overarching answer to place all that in context. I think she will have one. That's the number one thing that worries me.
You know, why adopt a different persona before an election, which is supposed to be centrist, and then when you get in, all of a sudden you go radical left? Why be two people? It's like having a secret family, Jessica, that you hide from other people.
So this is pretty standard fare, that someone who has run before had policies that they don't necessarily implement while they're in office, and the closest proxy for what Kamala Harris would be is who Kamala Harris was as VP and part of the Biden-Harris ticket. And I understand that that is a problem for some people, but you cannot run from that. You can run from a position you took in 2019, and we've discussed this before. You know, I think that she could do very well to roll the clips, right? Show me what I said, and I'll explain to you about how different it is once you're actually governing, and that you can't get things like that passed. Something like a Medicare for All, for instance. A lot of people wish that we could have great public health care and that you didn't need private health insurance, but they wouldn't go and say you should eliminate private health insurance, and that's how President Biden...
communists would say that.
That's not true. All over
true.
Europe, they're not communists.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, it's a whole lot of flip-flopping, which leads me to suspect only one thing, that she's a liar. Okay, you don't change your opinions and views that drastically. Another thing is, he said that she changes during election time. Of course, that's what I've been telling you all. That's absolutely what she does. At this point, she's saying whatever. She's throwing a bunch of things at the wall to see what sticks. She's saying whatever she thinks that people want to hear. Kamala Harris is so fake. Okay, let's listen to her talking about the union workers with this so-called black scent that she was speaking in. Okay.
Favorite meal to cook?
a
Curry
lot
goat.
of yeah man,
Jerk chicken.
yeah man. them gonna bush and bring me back a goat and I cook it up. I said to the congressman, I didn't know he could preach like that. Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Okay, I absolutely cannot. Now, who is this woman? Okay, now she had a Jamaican accent that was terrible, by the way, for those of you who want to say she's black because she's part Jamaican. All right, that was awful. Then she spoke with a southern drawl. And then in the last clip, she was trying to speak in Ebonics, okay? You better thank a union member. If you're not in a union, you better thank a union member. Sit down somewhere like she's also fake, okay? Oh, so crazy. But anyway, I digress. So now let's go to this panel discussion where they're saying Kamala Harris wants to run away from the Biden-Harris economic record. Okay, so let's get into it. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share.
Doug Collins is a former Georgia Republican congressman, and Doug Schoen is a former Clinton advisor and Democratic strategist and pollster. Thank you both for being here. The panel of the Dougs. Let's just start off for a second here. President Biden, he says he was the most pro-union president ever. Doug Schoen, I want to start off with you. We're getting reporting here that advisors say that Biden plans a robust campaign trail schedule over the next 2 months. Is that a good idea for Vice President Harris to continue to be sharing the stage with President Biden?
It is most assuredly, Brian, not a good idea.
Let me just stop it right there and say this. Why is she trying to share the stage with Biden? Well, beloveds, I'm so glad you asked, because she can't do it alone. She always needs her security blanket. Okay, that's why she had Tim Walz at the interview, and now she wants to bring Biden's little decrepit self. Now, he's already stepped down. Half of the time he's asleep or stuttering, stammering over his words, not to poke fun at him because of his age, but this is all true. And she wants to bring him up on stage. That's because she can't hold her own. And if she can't hold her own during an election cycle, during interviews, if she can't hold her own, how is she going to hold this country up? How is she going to lead this country? How is she going to look and fare when she's speaking to other leaders of other countries? Okay? Please make it all make sense.
Yeah. And as robust as the president may think or want his schedule to be, I suspect strongly that that Harris campaign will want to trim that back and limit him strictly to 2 or 3 states like Pennsylvania, like Michigan and Wisconsin. But the one thing Kamala Harris wants to do is to move herself and run away from the Biden-Harris economic record for practical political reasons. And the last thing she's going to want, Brian, is for her campaign to be tethered to that of Joe Biden and his record.
Congressman Collins, that seems to be this seems to be pretty much a softball for the Trump campaign, because if Harris keeps saying that she's going to be the candidate of change, it makes it harder if you continue to share the same stage with President Biden, does it not? So what do you expect for the Trump campaign, how they'll handle this?
I think I agree. This is a Doug caucus agreement here. I mean, this is an interesting issue that there's no doubt. I mean, they keep paying a new way forward, a new direction. What is new about this? She is the vice president of the United States, and she is Joe Biden's vice president. She agreed with every one of these bad decisions that the Biden administration has made. She's been a cheerleader for those bad decisions. This idea that this is new, I think it is a softball for the Trump administration, but it can't for the Trump campaign into it, because he can compare his administration to what has actually happened now. But they've got to keep focused on this, because remember, the media is been giving them basically a pass as if this is a new candidacy, and there's a lot of less informed voters who may not see this. They may buy the rhetoric that she had nothing to do with what's going on right now. But look, this one is one in which I think the people are seeing it. They're voting. Basically, you're seeing it in the polls. They're gonna be moved by their pocketbooks, and that's what's happening right now. And you can't get away from the fact of the price of groceries and the price of gas and the things that they're having to do every single day.
Yeah, you just said stay focused, right? That's the key for President Trump to try to stay disciplined here. We'll see. Doug Schoen, we wanted to talk about the situation, obviously, in Israel. We just saw Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his press conference. The effect of this on the Harris campaign. You already have protests in Manhattan. College has started. There could be campus protests. How does the Harris campaign handle this now?
Well, with difficulty. If you saw, as I'm sure you did, Brian, at the convention, she spoke foursquare in support of Israel, but also said that the suffering in Gaza was unacceptable or worse. But given the brutality of Hamas shooting 6 Israeli innocent hostages at close range with Israelis obviously close on their trail, emphasizes how horrific Hamas is as a terror organization and how difficult, if not impossible, it is to do any kind of a deal with them. This creates a problem for President Biden and certainly for Vice President Harris as we go forward. I just hope that they stand foursquare with Israel, put the protests aside, and stand on the side of right, justice, democracy, and freedom.
And quickly here, Congressman, how does President Trump respond to this? Does he go and just support Netanyahu? That seems like a complicated thing to do, given the situation.
Well, I think it's not as complicated as Doug just said. I think you support Israel. Look, the pro-Hamas wing of the Democratic Party has the ear of Vice President Harris, and they have struggled with this for a while. They say the right things, in public, so to speak, but you're not seeing it backed up by a lot of things that are being done. And I think.
Okay, I agree, because it's nothing but lies being told, okay? Nothing but lies being told. Now, that being said, let's go to the clip of Corey Holcomb going in on Blue MAGA, okay? Blue MAGA is what we now call some of Kobami's supporters, because as I told you all weeks ago, they're just as hateful as the Trump supporters. They're out here trying to go hard in the paint and go in on people who have contrary views and opinions as it pertains to Kobami. If we don't support her, they want to get all mad and hostile and try to go in on us. D.O. Hughley, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, okay, and the rest of the people like them, Uncle Luke. So yeah, they're officially Blue MAGA, so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to share what Corey Holcomb had to say about her. And of course, I'm going to put up an overlay. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Please don't forget to like and share. 631 people in the chat. Please be sure to like and share. Okay? Doesn't cost you anything, beloveds. Thank you in advance.
Corey crazy tomorrow.
No, because my peoples be telling me, and I be wondering, is this true? She calls herself, because I'm saying these capping, I be busting them out.
Yeah.
She calls herself Kamala Harris.
Wait, what?
Kamala Harris, whatever you want to call her. Kamala.
Kamala's a wrestler.
Kamala.
Damn, I'm f***ed up. What is her? What is her? Is this true?
Oh, she focuses on mental illness.
Is this true? What is her real last name? She's gonna run under that name. Say that name again. You got to get it. I don't want to say it wrong. Just text it to me.
This feel like an episode of the A-Team when the boss be calling
Right.
in.
No, I love busting bitches out to be acting like they respectable.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris. Hey, Kamala Harris. Because, it's some brothers that we know, comedians and other people who paid off to speak to her.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I say names. I ain't got no motherfucker.
No, I thought you said it was a fake name. My bad. I tried to be.
No, that's the name she put out there for y'all.
Yeah.
She married a Caucasian male.
Right.
And her name, Her last name. What is that name, Ms. Harris? All you people who telling us to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm talking about all the people who played us, who dissed us, our brothers that we grew up to love. They telling you to go out and vote for Kamala Harris. Some of them are even saying something wrong with you if you don't vote for Kamala Harris.
What is this bitch's real name?
Good point. Random question by Craig. Corey makes a good point right here. I'm not a political person. I've never been into politics, likely never will be. So I don't care who you vote for. Harris.
So I'm saying like the people who out there pushing her on us. What is her last name for real? Her married name, because she's not running under that. She's running under the one that'll make the lost root for her.
Yeah, that's called
she don't fuck with us.
That's called a dog whistle in politics.
That's not her maternal name? I mean, her.
It's called a dog.
Phil ain't got a mic. Phil talking about the name recognition thing.
Right. Sorry, Phil.
No,
There
but
you
it's
go.
She's running under Kamala Harris to get the lames.
It's a dog whistle. It's the same reason why Biden will give the same speech for white people as black people, but when he get around black people, he'll say the name Tyrone. I want Tyrone to get a job. But when he get around the white people, he'll say, I want Bill.
Tyron.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So that's
it's a
her
dog
husband's
whistle.
real last name?
What was you saying, Phil, since they gave you a mic?
It's name recognition. It's just like if a big time actress gets married, she's not going to change her name. She's going to keep that for her job.
But it's fake shit.
Man, that's just life.
Yeah, see?
I agree. Life is full of fake shit. See, this is the stuff that the people don't know. It's my job to make sure the people know what they need to know. You're dealing with a motherfucker who history is against African Americans in a whole bunch of ways. So all of the people who are acting like something wrong with you because you ain't getting behind her, them people ain't got your best interest. Because if you know this information, why won't you tell this information, Miss Imhoff? Why don't you tell people how you really feel about black people? Why don't you tell people your real history with black people? Why don't you tell people why you don't claim to be black, but you got a weave in your head? Look at her hair right there. Is that her? Without the makeup on?
That looks like somebody familiar.
That look like Steven Seagal. You know what, screw face?
What she looks like right there.
Man, let me tell all y'all people who pushing this lady on my people. Stop it.
Right.
You wrong for that. You wrong for that. You have been paid off so you can fit in the community. And it's starting to get to the point where I'm looking at you as an adversary. You not on the black people's side, pushing this on black people. A lot of you guys are hiding your sexuality and you're pushing the agenda. Stop it. Learn how to be more genuine to the people, man. You got your boyfriends right up under you. It's just you hide them. How we gonna build the community back up when the person you love, you too ashamed to show you love? What? I'm just saying, you phony. You phony. And you're not going to ever like me because I'm that. When I walk in the room, I feel it. Oh, it's Corey. Yeah, I'm putting you up on these doctors, these women who are they're snakes. They're not who they say they are. They're not who they say they are, man. So you can go out there and believe in them and cheer for them because of how you feel. But if you do the real research on these people, they're not who they say they are. If you ask me, Miss Kamala Imhoff is one who will do whatever to fit in and be kept as a pet. She'll do whatever she got to do. And there's a whole bunch of them out there like us, walking next to us, and we all just try to blend in with them. But until we separate from them, we can't get it together because we still smiling with them, trying to make them happy.
Man, good point.
You got a homie that you know is about that nonsense, but he got power. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can see that. Look at that.
She switched all the way up.
I can't vote for no woman to be president if she got weave in her hair.
Oh, Lord. Now I'm done. That's it.
I'm with it.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Lord.
I'm with it.
You
I'm just
think
saying.
she got weave in her hair?
What?
Yeah.
Darlene, you know better. I get what you doing, D. I get what you doing.
really
It might
think
be
that's
hers. Y'all let me know in the chat.
That's her hair like that.
That's her hair. You don't think that's her hair right there?
What?
You know she's Indian too.
Man,
That right there, he's saying that's weak. Like, how you
I'm so glad. I'm so tired of black people claiming Indian.
I don't know.
Darlene, stop.
You stop.
You know, it's funny. Corey says he's tired of black people claiming Indian. And this is actually the reverse of that. I know when he's talking about black people going up back in the day, swearing up and down they Native American just because their hair wasn't nappy. But this is actually the reverse. You got an Indian that's claiming to be African American. Let's get back to it.
That right there is. I'm thrown off by that one. You saying that right there to you is
That might
weak.
be her hair.
Darlene, stop.
No, Corey.
Hammer time.
It don't look like it was when it was pulled back in that other picture. Show that other picture.
Look, she
Yeah,
dyed her
it's
hair.
dyed black. It looks.
Show the other
looks like
picture.
she has it back in a ponytail.
Not that one, the other one.
Look, there
The
goes
Steven Seagal picture.
Montel was tapping that around with everybody. She was getting around too.
I hope they get it up there.
She looks good with her hair darker. She looks more exotic. I like it darker.
Yeah, D, you say everything good about the lady.
Oh my God, I can't. Well, you what? I'm just saying she looks good with it darker.
Right. That's like the woman.
Okay, enough. Now, with that all being said, you know, here's the thing. I guarantee you that Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and Dale Hughley are not, I repeat, are not going to ever address Corey Holcomb. That's what they're not going to do because, of course, he was talking about them when he talks about the people trying to pressure us, the ones that have been paid. Now, he said they've been paid. Now, that's the same thing Dr. Umar said. And then Steve Harvey tried to come at Dr. Umar, but he's not going to say a darn thing to Corey Holcomb. None of them are, okay, because they already know they'll get the smoke. All right? So they'll be silent. That's what they'll be. Now, Support the Arts, who's Kamala's biggest supporter and defender and apologist in my chat, says Kamala is going to win. Well, she just might. Because at the end of the day, if she does, it won't be because she deserved it. Okay? It'll be because, to me, this is my opinion, that the fix is already in. You see, when they're going around here trying to get people taken off ballots, okay, they're not playing fair. So, yeah, she likely will. But at the end of the day, like I said, they're trying to get people taken off of ballots. Okay, numerous people, they're trying to get rid of her competition. All right. Narratives are being painted and pushed. They're saying all sorts of things online. You can't say certain things about her on TikTok. At the end of the day, yeah, she likely will. Because like I said, she's the appointee, not the nominee. Okay, so please pay attention. So I won't be the least bit surprised. But at the end of the day, until then, or even after then, she's still going to get that work from the queen. Okay, that's what she's going to get. She's still going to get that work from the queen, period. Okay, win, lose, or draw. All right, because I don't like her arse, period. Now, with that all being said, and someone said in the chat yesterday, or not in the chat, but someone left me a comment yesterday saying, so who do you want to win, Trump? No, who I want to win is Dr. Shiva. At the end of the day, my bottom line is I don't want Kabami to win. Okay, I absolutely don't. I don't like her. She said she's not going to do anything for black people, and any black person that supports her is a fool. That's just my opinion. Okay, you have to be insidiously obtuse to knowingly, willingly to support someone who told you to your face she's not going to do anything specifically for you, but then turned around and did things specifically for other people. Make yourselves make sense. Now, that all being said, let's talk about Roly-Poly Swollen Martin. Because Swollen Martin has just been exposed as of yesterday. Okay, my dear sister Lisa Cabrera sent me this video and I was cracking up. Now, I was going to edit it and show it on here, but I'm not going to do it. I'll just tell you all what it was. Okay, he was trying to defend Kabami as per usual. And then, lo and behold, the clip that he showed and played, well, it had a naked man walking down what looked like a hallway with butt cheeks out. So, Roland Swollen Martin, I have several questions. Why you choose to try to go in on Tyrese and act like Tyrese doesn't know what he's talking about? Tell us what was going on with them cheeks on your video that's now been edited, but too late and too little because some people already had shared it. Okay, did y'all see the butt cheeks? I have questions, Roland. What's going on around here? Please tell me you're not on the DL and you have a whole wife who's a pastor, last I checked. Okay, did y'all see it? It was all over the internet. It was all over the internet, okay? Found it very interesting. He had a video clip of Kabami's interview, her and Tim Walz, and at the end, there was butt cheeks, okay, walking. So what was Roland looking at? What the hell was Roland up to? All right, I have several questions. So he wants to try to go in on Tyrese Now, before I play his response, I'm going to play the video clip from Tyrese from yesterday for those of you who missed it, and then we'll get into Roly-Poly Swollen's response.
President Biden and Kamala Harris signed an Asian hate crime bill, which makes it beyond illegal to ever purposely and maliciously do anything to anybody in the Asian community. And there was a spike in crimes and criminal behavior in and around COVID, allegedly and specifically motivated by Trump. And so everybody started treating Asians, beating them, killing them, shooting them, stabbing them, hurting them. And then he gets into the White House, skips over every black and brown Mexican and Latino that have been getting killed like flies, and he makes it a law. Asian hate crime bill is signed into law. So whether you're a police officer or a regular civilian, if you wake up on a Wednesday and say, he's Asian, a woman or a man, let's go do something bad to them, which God forbid would ever happen again. But it is a crime bill that was signed into law that protects Asians at all costs. Where is that same fucking law to be signed into law when it comes to black and brown people? Because what you're doing is, President Biden and Kamala Harris, what you're doing is you're saying that black and brown people will continue to be disposable. That's why we got to vote, and we got to make sure our voices are heard, Tyrese. And it matters when we speak up and speak truth to power. When we speak what's on our heart, we will be heard. But first, you got to have the courage to speak up. And that's why I love you, Tyrese. You speak your heart, and your heart will never fail you.
Okay, so there you heard what Tyrese had to say. And so Roland Swollen, who's one of Blue MAGA, got all upset and in his feelings, as they often do when someone doesn't go along to get along and show support for Kabami. I mean, I just don't understand why they're mad. If you're voting for Trump, Kabami, or whomever, I don't get mad. Why would I? I don't care who anyone votes for. I just know who I'm voting for and who I'm not voting for. But they get so mad. They have to come out and lash out and then talk trash to people and try to belittle you. This is what they do. So please tell me, how are they not like Trump supporters, okay, whom they've said act like a whole cult? But you mean to tell me they don't? Please make it all make sense.
I just finished watching Kamala Harris's taped interview.
I'm sorry, wrong video. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry, hold on. Where is that darn video? I think this is it.
All right, y'all. Let me make this video real quick, okay? Like real quick. Tyrese, you do not know what you're talking about. That video where you're talking about an anti-Asian crime bill, that is a lie. Please, learn to fact check before you start talking. I have debunked this nonsense numerous times on Roland Martin Unfiltered. That is a lie. I literally have walked through the bill on my show. In the summary, it talks about the attacks on Asian Americans. It is called the COVID-19, it specifically mentions COVID-19. If you actually read the bill, which I've done on the air multiple times, it does not only apply to Asian Americans, it applies to everybody. It also, all it did was also create one job that compiled data. And so again, Tyrese, you're wrong. You are 100% wrong. And so please, all of you entertainers, when y'all jump out here and make videos and people run with it, I need you to do some verification, do some fact checking before you do that. Okay? So you're wrong. It is not, people called it the Asian hate crime bill because of the attacks. And if you're also going to run your mouths out here and go, oh, there's never been a bill for African Americans, that's a lie. There have been 3 hate crimes bills specific to African Americans. The first one, you were dealing with the Civil Rights Act in 64, okay? Then you all also had the hate crimes bill that dealt with black churches were being burned. I also broke that down on Roland Martin Unfiltered. And then, of course, you had the lynching bill that was also signed. Okay? And don't forget, you also have the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Act that dealt with hate crimes. Yeah, James Byrd, the black man who was dragged to death in Jasper, Texas. I went there. I broadcast from there. I walked down the street where he was murdered. And so please, all you blogs that keep posting this stuff, Tyrese says he's wrong. He's wrong. Okay? I've walked this stuff through on my show. Bill by bill, fact by fact. Got it? Please call somebody before you start spewing stuff that you know nothing about.
Okay, so first of all, Roland is lying. Okay, that's number one. So let me just go ahead and debunk him right now. Okay, now what he said is partially true, but a half truth is still a lie as far as I'm concerned. So let's talk about it. Now, he said that the bill was named specifically for COVID. Yeah, well, this is true. This is true. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. But here's the thing. I want you to pay attention who's listed. First of all, before I do that, let's listen to this. Okay, let's listen to this. First of all, here's what the hate crime law aims to do as attacks on Asian Americans rise. Okay, so now this was enacted during the stupid 19 pandemic. Okay, it addresses hate crimes throughout the stupid 19 pandemic with particular emphasis on the increase in violence against Asian Americans. So it's basically for them. You see, when we were getting attacked, they didn't make anything for us. And we weren't just getting attacked during stupid 19. We've always been getting attacked. What about those black men who were hanging from trees during the 2020 protest? Okay, so he could sit down somewhere. All I'm saying, yes, it was named for COVID-19 as a hate crimes act, but they specified that it was for Asians, okay? And they specified that it was, well, they said it was for people who were being attacked, but they specified that it was due to the rise in hate attacks against Asians. And I want you to pay attention because you know who it didn't list in here? Let me just share this on the screen because he can miss me with it. That's what he can do. It lists other people in here, but nowhere does it list people who look like me. I just want you all to pay attention, okay? I know you probably can't read that, but here's what it says. I'm going to start right here at the middle. ADL and its partners in the civil rights community have advocated tirelessly for 3 bills, including by organizing petitions in support, which have garnered thousands of signatures to date in response to a wave of hate crimes targeting members of the AAPI community across the country and other recent hate crimes targeting the youths, the Latinos, and the LGBTQ community, among others. Now, I'm sorry, why didn't they say anything about Black people? Are we the ones that they're calling among others? They specified specific people, but they didn't say anything about African Americans. Now, I want you to pay attention. Okay, I want you to pay attention because this was all drafted up. This was all drafted up because the Asians were having hate crimes committed and perpetuated on them. Okay? So with that all being said, they did not list African Americans, Black people, whatever you want to call yourself. They didn't list us. They said everybody but us. AAPI community, the Latinos, LGBTQ. That's what they said. Okay? They didn't list us in there specifically, so he could miss me with it. All right? Now, it's called the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act and No Hate Act. Okay? So it doesn't have anti-Asian. That's not the title of it, but it was started because of hate against Asians. All right? So he could miss me with it. Tyrese didn't say anything wrong. He did know what he's talking about. And also, here's another thing. The persistence of anti-Black hate crimes is an American tradition. What more than 30 years of federal data tells us. Okay. And then they go on to talk about and list all of the hate crimes that have been perpetuated among Black people. Okay. I want you to pay attention. The persistence of anti-Black hate crimes is an American tradition. That means it's been normalized. That means that it's included into the fabric of America. Okay, and this is something that has always happened and continues to happen. So I'm sorry, say what? And they didn't even have the audacity. They didn't even take the time to, and this came out in 2023, okay, when they showed all of the data. And they didn't even bother, not to have the audacity, but rather, should I have said, they didn't even bother to put us in there. Okay? They didn't even bother to list us in there. So please pay attention. Racial hate crimes make up most reported incidents. 62% of the 7,303 hate crime incidents reported to law enforcement agencies in 2021 were racially, ethnically, or ancestrally motivated. Okay? And most of those happen to Black people. All right? But no specific hate crime bill for us. And let me just say this as well. So he brought up the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd hate crime, the Hate Crime Act. Well, that was for everybody. That wasn't specifically for us. We need one specific to us because there are certain things that happen to us, okay, at the end of the day, and we're the ones more disproportionately targeted with hate and vitriol from other groups of people, okay? Not even the people in this country who've been harassing us for years. We all know who I'm talking about, but at the end of the day, some of these people come over here illegally and harass us. Okay, they come over here illegally and commit and perpetrate hate crimes on us. So please pay attention. So I'm sorry. Okay, Queen Amona Hewitt said, "Murking us for an American sport." Exactly. And see, here's the thing. They once had this, what was it called? It was a license they would give. It was called a jigger with an N hunting license. Now, I'm sorry, but who else have they ever had that for in this country? And he wants to talk about when they were blowing up churches. Well, that was back in the 60s. Okay? That was back in the 60s. And they're not blowing up churches now. What they're doing is taking our people out during traffic stops by police officers when the people are unarmed. What they're doing is taking our people out and then lying and saying they fear for their lives and using the stand your ground defense. Okay, like the 16-year-old Ralph Yarrow who went and knocked on the wrong door by mistake. Okay, like the woman who went and knocked on a door for help because she was involved in a traffic accident and a man who doesn't look like me shot her and took her life. All right. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but Roland Swollen Martin can sit here and make up all the asinine, insidiously obtuse excuses that he wants. The bottom line is we do need an anti-Black hate crime bill specifically for us. All right. I'm just over it at this point. He is such an idiot. But let's continue because this gentleman on TikTok had some things to say about Kabami, and some of the things may sound familiar, and that's because I've said them all before. Please pay attention.
I just finished watching Kamala Harris's taped interview on CNN, and I did that so you wouldn't have to. But there was one particular line that most individuals probably did not pick up on that needs to be discussed. So when Kamala Harris was being pressed by Dana Bash on the issues that actually matter to the average American, Kamala Harris decided to say, quote, "My values have not changed." Now, what she's telling you without coming out and actually explicitly saying it is that regardless of what her stance appears to be now on whether or not she's going to ban fracking or not, regardless of her stance now on offering large child tax credits, even though the DNC had an abortion bus right outside the event, regardless of her stance now as it relates to border security and building the wall, which she now claims to be in support of, Kamala is telling you that her ideals have not changed. She is simply going to say whatever she thinks the American people want to hear. And then when she gets into office, when she is able to secure that power, she is going to renege on those promises, much like she has in the past. She did her best to deflect criticism and try to blame Trump for the current economic issues facing Americans without realizing that she has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why more and more people can't figure out that Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and the entire Democrat Party, their ideals, their values truly have not changed. And Kamala Harris told you that to your face.
She absolutely did. Okay. She absolutely did tell us that to our faces. Okay. That's why I said the question they should have asked her is, how have your values not changed? What are your values, Kabami? when she said, my values haven't changed. Well, what are your values? I have several questions. Remember, this is the same lady who said that America is not a racist country and who also allegedly told a Black woman who was complaining about racism to stop saying that. No, don't say that. So this woman, you know, she's not like us. She's not one of us. At the end of the day, people can try to make her out to be whomever they want her to be in their mind, in their world of delusions. But the bottom line is she's the same bitch who had 600 Black men lingered in prison when there were shady test results, okay, that had been tampered with. She's the same woman who withheld evidence that could potentially have cleared someone who was on death row. She's the same one whose office sent an innocent Black man to prison. Okay, he got out 5 years later and was consequently awarded $13 million when he sued. Okay, this is who Kabami is. You see, she's the same one that said, I'm not going to do anything for Black people specifically. No, but then her and Biden specifically did things for other people. Okay, who wasn't listed in that hate crime bill? Well, us. All right, us. They can say they're going to do whatever for whomever, but never anything for us. Are we going to continue to be stupid? Are we going to continue to be Whoopi Goldberg in The Color Purple when she ran out to the mailbox when Mr. was gathering the mail and she said, anything for me, sir? Is that who we're going to keep being? Is that us to the Democrats? We're going to keep giving them our votes for nothing, and then we give them our votes, and then we have to sit there and ask, anything for me, sir? And they say no. Is that what we're going to do? Ask yourself. Ask yourself, okay? At the end of the day, I'm not falling for it, and I hope you don't fall for it either. All right? She may very well be the president because, like I said, it looks to me like the fix is already in. But that doesn't mean I have to support her. That doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and not speak the truth about her. And for the people that look like me, that are foolish enough to think that she's the end-all, be-all, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. And guess what? I'll be sitting right here eating my popcorn when you do. Okay? So likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._AShakur. And also, you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, TikTok at Dr. Shakur. All right, so for those of you who are going to the backup channel, I'm starting immediately following this broadcast, and you don't want to miss it because these thugs killed a 90-year-old man when they were carjacking him, ran him over with his own car, and then also a mother, 25-year-old mother, and her children were found deceased, and there's more to come, and we're also going to have updates on the YSL trial. Okay, so that all being said, moderators, please drop the link to the next broadcast. I love you all to life. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. All right. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And for those of you who follow the spiritual channel, I will be live on there this evening at 6:15. Peace.
Hit him with that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got